Oisada.
This flag off of the construction of the Fasola Agribusiness Industrial Hub that we're performing today is a testament to the fact that we made the right decisions. It is a proof that when we say Oyo State is ready for business, we are not just mouthing meaningless words. Our doors are wide open. Come in and talk to us.
On Friday, 4th June 2021, Governor Seyi Makinde flagged off the construction of the Fasola Agribusiness Industrial Hub. This represented a new approach to agriculture in Oyo State with a focus on providing infrastructural support for agribusinesses.
If we want to grow an economy of a state, I think the economists will tell you that it is not a new thing, that you need to ensure that you create the enabling environment. You need to bring in the right kind of a policy. Now, so this enabling environment for us, in Oyo State is to say, what are those critical factors to enable the environment for private sector to come? And one of it critically is that private sector wants to be in a place that is safe. Private sector wants to be in a place where the infrastructure is developed. Private sector wants to be in a place where they could use data to make a decision, about what they are doing. Private sector wants to be in a place where there is energy. So we chose to go down that line of revamping or building or developing contiguous land within the state to create this enabling environment that we're talking about, all encompass. And we made a choice of three different locations, but we started with Fasola, of course, because of its history, because it's the in-between. It's not the biggest, it's not the smallest of the three that we chose. The resources of the government, the public funding that came to provide roads, both external and internal roads for the place. As a matter of fact, the external road was a federal road, as they call it, but the state government chose to do it because we are situating a major investment of the state in that place. The second thing is that within the estate itself, a moribund facility for over 30 years, we can see connectivity of road now that has been done within that. And that is one of the attractions for the private company. Which company will come into an environment where there are no road network? That has been done. Beyond that, this place is being fenced. So we have it fenced, protected, so that the issue that we always complain about of security is not existing there. We also built the first stage factory, that became attractive to many of these investors. And what this does is that it de-risks the private sector and reduce the level of funding that they are supposed to be bringing into a business. Rather, they use that fund to concentrate on their core business rather than buying land and building factory and doing roads and doing electrification. Of course, we have not finalized the electrification, but we are doing the electrification as well. The water aspect is also going to be done. We have the health clinic in that place. We have the fire station within that place. It's already in existence, And in addition to that, we have houses that this private company can. So it becomes only encompassed. You have your farm, you have your processing center, you have a house you can live in. Clinic is there. Creche for their children is there. And then you have a fire station, God forbid anything happens. And, so these are all the ancillary infrastructure that has been built within Fasola Industrial Hub or Estate.
Okay, here we have three sections. Gate 1 is for production. Here we have the administrative, cum investors. Then in gate 3 we have purely factories.
Last year, we got the data of our production in Nigeria, and we have that of Oyo State as well. Our production over the past 6 years. The good news is that our production has increased over the past 3 years of this government compared to the previous 3 years. Our land cultivation has increased compared to the previous 3 years of this government. And that is across board, not just on one crop. I mentioned that the production is going high, the land size is going high, but our productivity is flat. What that means is that there is tendency that the material that has been used for production over a long period of time has been old materials of probably 10 or 15 or 20 years. And from that, we discovered that one of the areas that we need to focus on in Home 2.0 is to look at the issue of seed system. And now, that we have also started in Fasola.
So we are working with Oyo State in collaboration to maximize the agribusiness hub at Fasola. They have a land, extensive land there with very good soil and all that. So we multiply this material and take them. So the Fasola, our hub there, or our activity at the Fasola, is a seed production unit there, where we are starting with about 50 hectares for this year. We intend to expand over the next couple of years.
So far so good. What we are seeing now, that Fasola land is okay and it's good for cassava. We have 50 hectares of land here. This is almost 4 weeks now, and the cassava is doing well. And we have variety of cassava here. We have TME 419, we have Baba 70, we have Obasanjo 2, we have Game Changer, we have Farmer Pride, we have DC, we have Ayaya, and so on. As we start working here now, most of the labor that they are working with us in this environment, they are from this village. This is one of the benefits. Secondly, this term, at the end of the project, we need to give it to some farmers, and all the old stem they are planting, which is even we will be giving them like 2 tons per hectare, 3 tons per hectare. But if they plant this one, at least they will be having 20-23 tons per hectare.
So we want to see how we can establish something like this at Oyo State, at the Agribusiness Hub, so we can have even more engagement of the community, farmers and other stakeholders. We know this is IITA. For now, we are limited even with people that work with, but we want to scale this out to ensure that people get access to improved variety of quality standard.
I can rightly say that over 40%, if not more, of the milk that Friesland Campina will be producing in Nigeria will be coming from Oyo State. Now, we are going to 1,000 cattle to be reared there for milk production within the state. By the time this is finished, and it's not the usual livestock production that is just going all over the place. There is a barn already built, as it will be seen anywhere in the world. And it's not just one barn. We have more barns, like 3 or 4 barns, that will be used to house this 1,000 cattle. And the good news is that the companies that are doing this livestock production for milk production already have a pre-demand, they call it, from Friesland Campina. So every milk that is going to be produced by them is already been pre-ordered.
Here we are into livestock, mainly dairy cows, goats and sheep. We started this place some months ago in March, and by now we have our cows and we have some goats and sheep over there. We also planted our bracharia, which is the feed for the cows. This is what we do. This is situated at the old livestock center. This place used to be the old livestock center for the state since 1964, but we took it over this March 2023. Here we are into breeding. Breeding means that we will not do only the local cows, but we will have crossbreeds. And then the crossbreeds, instead of having our local cows giving about 2 liters per day, we can have crossbreeds giving from 15, 20 liters per day. And when we get this milk, we have an agreement, a partnership agreement with Friesland Campina Wamco. And they are also within the premise here, and they offtake the milk and they use it for the production of pig yogurt and all the other products they do. You know, we have peak season where you need more labor for your work when you do harvesting of your maybe maize or whatever, and you have low season. At optimal, at all times, definitely our staff here will be around 30. And then during the peak period, when we need more hands, we get contract laborers. From the community, of course, we get our from Fasola here, and definitely from Oyo State. All my teams currently are majorly from Oyo State here. First is security. I mean, when you talk of things like this, agriculture and the rest, you need security. As per security, I think the government has really put in enabling environment for all the investors here. Other things that were to be done, including roads and the rest, the road is in progress. If you see from Oyo to this place now is already tarred. And the internal roads are being constructed currently. The other facilities, I think for me, is great. What I need more, if I may say, I need more lands, which I've been asking for. I believe the DG is working on it to see how we can be able to optimize our operations here.
So this is Friesland Campina Wamco dairy development site. So here we grow pasture and we rear dairy cattle. We are aiming at 500 cattle. We have about 300 hectares here. So we have bracharia here. This A barn where we store our hay. So we store our hay here. So when we harvest it, so we bale it, then we keep it there. Here is the hay we harvested on our feed. So when we harvested it, then we bale it, then we pack it here.
We already have a company within the place as well that we saw their equipment to establish greenhouse in tomato production.
The Brown Farm came into Fasola, the Agribusiness Hub, in December 2022. So far what we've done is we've set up the base for the greenhouse farm, which we can go and see very soon. And we're also setting up the road the access roads around the offices, the accommodation, the access road for the greenhouses, and the service lane as well for the greenhouse and the open field farming.
What we are basically doing is not just building an hydroponic greenhouse for tomatoes, which sits on 2,800 square meters. We're also looking at doing an open field, which is already on, for banana and plantain. Of course, the banana is not just to bring banana and raw and start selling. We're also thinking of converting the banana to powder, and which of course will export. You know, banana is one of the primary fruits you need for confectionery. So we are going to be working with a lot of international companies. And what we try to do, of course, is to ensure that we attract a lot of forex to Nigeria. Then again, for the tomatoes, we are going beyond going to produce, to convert tomatoes to paste. We are going to convert tomatoes to powder. We are working with the food technology company in Canada already in ensuring that we come out with what's called our instant jollof. So we are blending all about 19 ingredients together to what's called it. So what you just need to do is just to open your sachet, pour it the way noodles is done. You have, and okay, we're thinking of also putting that facility here in Oyo State.
Right there at Fasola, we have nothing less than around 320 hectares, not acres, hectares of maize farm. The stem itself of the maize, the company is actually into livestock production and is going to be using this as part of the feed. You know what that means, you know, in a layman term, is that they're at maybe 4 tons or 5 tons per hectare, you know, all things being equal. We are talking about close to around 55 to 60 trucks of grains. You know, that is significant, contributing or addition to what is currently being produced within the state. Within that particular space now, we have close to around 169, 170 hectares, again hectares, not acres, of pastures. And this pasture is interesting that countries like UAE are already requesting for countries or places that will export those pasture to them, you know, in a dry form. So Oyo is already placing itself in a place whereby, of course, we need it ourselves locally. But if we continue in this approach, we continue to do things more and more with this kind of system or approach that we have adopted, we can turn to a state that will be exporting this one of these days.
So this is a making bank in the Fasola Agribusiness Hub. Basically, we are into dairy and crop production. The crop production is both for some portion of it for feeding our livestock through silage making, and the other one is for grain production. So we have 140 hectares, about 140 hectares planted already and still planting, because we have what we are seeing at our background. We have the 120 days variety, and we have the 90 days variety coming on board. So we still have more lands to cover. Then we have our pasture just behind you, about 40 hectares now under cultivation. We have 2 varieties of pasture, the Bracharia and Stylo, and 2 varieties of Bracharia, the Barenbock seed, Bracharia brisanta CV Maradu, and Bracharia rusiensis. So we have some animals. I think you've seen some of our animals around, although few of them, we have them in 2 batches. Basically, they are all dairy animals. So we are not into beef yet. So we are trying to acquire more animals, and behind there is our barn. I think I would say it's 70% completed now. Firstly, I think I must applaud the government because even getting a land as this big in this current Nigeria in a place at a time, at a spot for you to have your farm activities running, I think that alone, I will have to say it's a big a success to see on our business. Because if you look at the way the land is being fragmented all over, you can hardly get 100 hectares of land in a spot. So having this large amount of land in a spot, I think it's something that I can applaud the government with. And the impact also, it's becoming obvious and obvious now, because we have people we now have to take directly, because it's a business we can't handle alone. We have people we take from within the environment here, and they are now involved in our indirect labor or direct labor in some instances. So I think the government also has tried in that essence, because infrastructure like the road network now, we can see access, it's easy now to access the farm settlement, which will make our produce to go out a lot better and more faster than if the road were not there.
Again, of course, at a very small quantity, we saw irrigated pepper production within the place as well. That's an experiment to be sure that there are no nematode infection within the place for them to be able to expand also. That is about production. But we now move to the issue of processing. Of course, processing has not commenced, but those companies that will be processing have started occupying some of the processing centers that we have there, and they're already bringing their equipment for processing. And very soon, we'll start seeing the product out of processing that will be coming out of the place as well.
We are looking for the optimum. So that's why we are here. So we do a lot of cross. As I speak to you, there are 82 Gerrylandos already born, the Brazilian type in your state, with our dairy farmers. So we want to promote more of that so that we can have young graduates with 5-10 cows and also commercial farms, of course, one of our commercial farms. So we have pastoralists. We also have pastoralists, smallholder farmers, and also the commercial farmers.
So investors should just know that, one, we have a governor that is a private sector person himself. So you understand your pain as a private sector. And it won't allow an investor to come in and put all their resources in the location, and somebody come tomorrow and said, because I don't feel like. No. So what we have is what we can call a watertight agreement, and that is to protect the private sector that abide with the policy and the program of the government and their strategy within that particular location. So that watertight agreement is always there that protects them. And beyond that, the management of that hub itself is going to be by the private sector by the time we finish it. So they will come together, the private sector, form either a committee or whatever it is called, and then they will appoint who should lead that themselves. Of course, government will still be part of the whole process, and they will be in charge and be running things themselves. We will continue to monitor because it's a government facility that is leased out, and see that things are done the way it's expected to done. So, and then again, I wouldn't expect at this stage that we are in Nigeria today, where everybody is looking for resources, where they are looking for funding, where they are looking for revenue, and one government will come and want to jettison something that is going to bring revenue. The pipeline of revenue in Fasola, I think I need to mention that, is for 20 years, meaning that every year revenue will be going to the pocket of the government as part of the lease that they will be paying, because the percentage is paid and the extra is spread over 20 years. So do we want to jettison revenue that will be coming for over 20 years? So there are diverse things that we have put in place to ensure that when any other government comes in place, these investors and investments are protected.
Indeed, the Oyo State strategy for agribusiness at the Fasola Agribusiness Industrial Hub is slowly but surely charting a new course for agriculture, not just in Oyo State, but in Nigeria. If you are thinking of doing agriculture in Oyo State, Dr. Debo Akode has a word for you.
Telling you that you have a safe haven. I think that's the right word to use. And I invite you to come and see the place yourself. Safe haven that is tested. We could test it because we now actually have private sector investors within there. And you can talk to all those private sectors yourself. We can release their contacts for you to speak with them. And interestingly, they are diverse. So we have an international organization, Friesland Campina, that is in there. We have a local organization that is very large, that is there. We have a local organization that is medium, that is there as well. So regardless of where you're coming from, whether you are coming as an international organization or international company or local company, you have somebody that you can speak with and you can learn from. And again, I need to mention that we should always have at the back of our mind that His Excellency, the Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, established Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency, the first of its kind in Nigeria, to become the one-stop shop for all that is needed by an investor in agriculture or agribusiness within the state. You don't need to go to any Ministry of Land or Ministry of Works or Ministry of... Just come to Oyo, and all what you need in all those areas, even legal justice, we will be responsible and we ensure that we get all those things for you.
If I, my CEO and my MD came here, at first, they got discouraged. And I said the governor gave me his word. And today, it's been vindicated, by providing the enabling environment. This is what we want in Nigeria, basically, where governor sees things and they do it. He said he was going to do this and he has done it. You can see it's not just us. Other BV companies are also working here in taking advantage of the situation as it is.
Oyo State actually is a very good place to invest in. And what you have is the leadership of the state. They support investors here. So for me, opportunities to invest in Oyo State will be great for anyone because they have the backing of the state.
Oisada.